Welcome to Oklahoma High School Girls Basketball Between the Lines with my man, Coach V, on Sunday. What's up, Coach?
What's going on?
Man. We back at it. Happy New Year. Back. First one of the new year.
It is.
2026.
Man. Well, I can tell you right now, it's 2 o'clock, Sunday afternoon, so one thing's happening. The
Cowboys are getting beat.
Cowboys are getting beat. Otherwise, we'd be doing it at 5 o'clock.
Coach.
But, I ain't got to worry about that. Now, we'll tell you now, my Bears that I had on, see, I get to watch them a little bit longer.
Well, what they play today?
Shoot, man. I can't remember. I'm so busy. Thought they played Thursday, but I don't know.
Well, the Cowboys coming back, Coach. They next year's our year.
Coming back home? Well, where are they coming from?
We blow the whistle every year and say it's our year. Every year we blow the whistle. It's our year.
It is a new year for y'all. I mean,
yes, sir.
2026. I mean, so it is a new year.
Well, Coach, we'll finally eventually get it turned around. But like I said, Happy New Year to you and your family. I know this is about the thick of things now. Coming out of a lot of college, a lot of high school. I said college, but a lot of high school big time tournaments over the holidays. Some tough games. Got a chance to go to the Soul Bowl last night, Coach.
Yeah, it was.
I was over at Douglas High School. You had to get there at 3 o'clock to get a seat. So I got there around about 4:30. I caught the end of the boys JV game, caught the girls varsity game. The young lady Woods, Coach, I'm going to tell you, second time I got to see her play live and watch her play live last year against Booker T. She's a freshman. She has grown up a lot from a freshman to a sophomore. It's funny because when you see these kids get in college and high school, they grow up. They grow up on you, and she's grown up. I will tell you, I know a lot of people can say a lot of girls are the best in the state of Oklahoma. She is one of the top 3, top 5 in the state of Oklahoma. Just her game alone, the way she got to the bucket, the way she controlled herself, way she handled the rock, what she had mid-range, long range, inside range. Everything she did was just so smooth, always under control. Even when she was off balance, she was under control. So big shout out to this young lady Woods. I think it's Justice Woods. Like I said, starting to get to know a lot of these girls better, just by doing this show. Our second year in this show. Thank you for the little deal you put together, Coach, with us and all the different episodes we had. We thank all our fans. We couldn't be where we're at without you guys. And we still need more to like and subscribe. So we're not done. But overall, though, that Justice Wood, I know I jumped from 1 to 1, but that Justice Wood girls coach she is the real deal. Real deal.
Well, we talk about that 28 class. That 28 class is good, really good. And I've been saying that for a couple of years. And I think the 29 has just as good a talent behind him coming up, this incoming freshman. But deal with Justice Woods. We talk about, who's best, it's going to be down to what you like. We got Kalani at, 6 foot, 6'1" guard. We got King at 6 foot. We got, we've got the kid down at and Muskogee down there, Holmes girl. She's 6 foot, and you got Justice, at Douglas. So
and you got our favorite, Brooklyn Miles. Right now
Brooklyn
she's
Miles.
And you got
it's gonna come down to what you like.
Yeah, and that's true because when you start. I had a show that I did with my brother. We kind of talked about recruiting. We was talking about girls getting offers early. And, some of the things that some of these girls can't buy because when you looked at Justice, one thing I liked about her game, Coach, that and that I look at a lot because I love defense. Defense wins championship. You know that. One thing I saw when she was on the ground, she jumped up and she ran down the court. She didn't jog. And right there, she got a lot of respect for me doing that because a lot of times girls, when they do that, man, they lay on the ground. But I'd give Justice a buzzer beater for that because she got up and she hustled down to the court. Other than the court, she could have laid there and flopped about her foul, complained about a foul. She got up. But that probably comes from mom. Mom's a coach. Mom coaches are hard. Mom don't care. Mom's pretty tough on her. So big shout out to her. But like I said, we got a lot of high school girls basketball to talk about. I know we don't want to get caught up on one girl. But, Coach, I do want to say one thing. First time at the Tournament of Champions. Really, really loved it. Good venue. Good court. Really, really nice in there. Parking wasn't too bad. I think we paid $25 for 3 days because I jumped the car with somebody else. Smart of me. But no, for overall though, got to use my OSSA pass to get in, so that saved me a little bit of money. But it was a good time. I felt like the games where you one day. It's not like AU you play 1 or 2 games, but it's one day. But I still think the girls had enough good time to go do things. I know one night we went to ORU. Thank you again, Mrs. and Mrs. Anderson for the tickets. I know Joey got a chance to meet Mrs. Anderson, got a chance to talk to her. But it's always cool when you can talk to a college coach, face to face, not on the phone or not like that. But it was a good deal. But for overall, Coach, the tournament was amazing, man. I'm a big shout out to Coach Eric and the Dell Lady Pirates. What they did in the tournament, being a smaller school and winning. I think it's the first time it's done it since small Kansas school done it, and their boys did it a few years ago. So how cool is that to both hang banners up in your high school? Your boys and girls both won the tournament of champions.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like about some of the holiday tournaments is you get small schools, big schools. Now Dale boys were exceptional because you don't really see it happen much in Dale. You almost have to go back to, what was it, Smithville or somewhere back in the, they had the groups back in the early 90s that can go down and play a 6A program. So that was, for boys, it's a little bit different. For girls, that's what I like about the holiday tournaments is you get small school, big school. I was at Mustang. We'll talk about that a little bit. But even the small schools, they're represented well, and so congratulations, Coach Smith. That's a good jumping point to go to state tournament as far as what he's trying to build, competition level, adversity. How do you handle bigs? How do you handle quick people or quick players? So great job to Dale Lady Pirates.
Yeah, like I said, they started off hot. Opened up with Carl Albert on the opening day on that Monday afternoon at 12. Opened up with Carl Albert, overcame Carl Albert. Carl Albert had them down by 16, found a way to take care of business. But a lot of that goes to this young lady. I hope I'm saying her name right. I'd love to have her on the show soon. Deonica, the post player that played a couple years at Elgin. Now she's at Dale. Brother goes to Carl Albert. I know Coach Richie probably wish he'd have had her in his lineup because I'm telling you, she was, I'm going to say right now, she was the best player in the tournament. All hands down. I don't care. You can talk about the Davis. You can talk about the Stokes. You can talk about Audrey Plunkett. You can talk about all these girls on these different teams. She was the best player in that tournament. She played lights out. She played like Dennis Rodman, but she scored like like Keem Olajuwon. She did all the things. She got boards. She played tough. She got in foul trouble. She knew not to foul out. And folks, that comes from being a 4-year, being a 4-year starter and also being a senior. She's probably older 18. She's probably 18 years old. She has really good footwork. And I know people's like, man, for her size, but she wasn't super big, Coach. She might have been about 5'8", 5'9", maybe 5'10". I don't know. But she ain't no 6'1", 6'2", but she played like it, and she had a lot of body controls what kept people off her. She knew how to hook and not get the foul called on her. So I'm gonna say best player that weekend. It could change weekend because that's how the ball bounces. But for the weekend of the tournament of champions, she was the best player. Skylar Anderson played good. Peyton Bays played really good. I'm gonna give her shout out because I'm not knocking nobody. I just try to keep it 100 from my other show. I thought her game was okay, but her game was good game. Her game is when you need me, I'm gonna knock him down. When you need me, I'm gonna knock him down, and that's what she did in the freshman Addie Hill. Folks, that's what I do. I give credit. I don't just get on here, man, talking to Tat. No, I'm giving everybody credit and credit. These young ladies play good ball, and that's what it was all about. So one more player I'm going to give a big shout out. I know Hoop Dog has already done it. You kind of stole my thunder. But Jakari Brown is playing lights out right now, Coach. I think right now she could be one of the hottest players in the state of Oklahoma. I know she's uncommitted. I know a lot of people's probably knocking on the door to try to get her. I don't know where she's going to go. Right now she can turn some heads and might sneak and get a smaller D. I'm going to tell you what she's done, though. She's turned the game around, Coach. You saw the game on Monday. We couldn't rebound. The rebound fell in our hand. We was going to kick it out of bounds. Her last 2 games that she's played, people kind of talked about her defense, not knocking her. People's like, well, she don't play good defense. Well, you know what? She shut the critics up. She said, shh, I'm going to play good defense. Rebounding. That's what it is. Carl Albert ain't rebounding. It's all you kept hearing on the scoreboard. Oh, Carl Albert can't rebound. They got to rebound 30-2. Guess what? She rebounded the last 2 games. So shout out to her making first team Great job, Jakari Brown. Only thing I'm going to ask you, yes, Miss Brown. Only thing I'm going to ask you from now through the rest of the season is be more vocal. You're a senior. Be more vocal. Speak up. Hold the other young ladies accountable if they're not doing their job. That's what a team leader is, because that's what you got to do in college. So you might as well start it now. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you to do in your game, because everything in your game is right now is 100%. It's cold. So keep doing what you're doing, but just be more vocal. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I mean, I watched. I think she had your first 9 of 11 points. Man. And then Plunkett got in foul trouble that one game I saw first half, and Jakari put them on their back and let them. And other players followed. So I mean. She didn't do it by herself, but she set the example. And I think when younger players of, Zoe and the twins and others that are there got a chance to see Jakari put them on her back, now you kind of feel like, okay, we got somebody to ride with here.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's what happened. I think, she had a breakout tournament. We've seen it. We've seen it in the summer. And we've been waiting on it. And, like I said, she got a little confidence going early and wrote it out for the rest of the tournament. Now she got to do it, for Carl Albert to be that team to make that big run. She's going to have to do it, consistently. And I think maybe Carl Albert might have found somebody to ride that leadership with.
No, Coach, I think you're right. I mean, I think I think you're still looking. You're finding some things. I think some girls stepped up. The main 2 scores is going to be Jakari Brown and Audrey Plunkett. I mean, you're seniors. I mean, you most of the time, that you got 16 years on your team now. I was looking at the game last night and I'm watching Douglas and I'm telling my wife, like, can Hera beat Douglas? I think you would have to shoot lights out. Douglas is not very deep. Don't have a bunch of girls, but I know there's somebody that's in your class. So
you go withstand Douglas's runs.
Yes, that's it. And that's something I saw like last night in Millwood. Not take nothing from Millwood. I thought Millwood played a good game, but I thought Millwood guards played scared. They played not scared, but played timid a little bit. I watched them. They didn't play like that, and they played in the Dell game. They didn't play those kind of ways. They played in the Dell game. They played more poised, but they also at home. You got a big crowd, folks. Coach, I don't know how many people's in there. It was standing on room only. I did text Shane to say, hey, we need some AC. When you do them type of Coach, I feel like I was in hell. So I better start praying and getting on my hands and knees and tell the Lord thank you, because I don't want to go there, Coach. I don't want to go, because that's what I felt like I was in last night up in the Douglas gym. There were so many people there, but it was a good time, though. That's what basketball atmosphere is all about, is having that good time. Even though we was in that arena, it was so spread apart. And that's why I'm kind of glad they brought everything to the new house, because it feels like a basketball atmosphere. Imagine playing in front of a crowd like that, Coach. I mean, it was just, and you've coached a long time, so you have, but being a young kid looking up and every seat is taken, everybody's on the wall, every camera's on you. Sam was in there, Big Dog was in there, Horse Dog was in there, Channel 9 was in there, Channel 72 was in there. Everybody was in there, folks. I mean, everybody's reporting the same thing on their Snapchat.
The guy with the rabbit antennas, he's in there. He's filming.
Everybody was in there. They had great
VHS. He broke out a VHS and said, hey, I'm gonna make some money.
Coach, I saw grandmas that lost their teeth on the court, picked them back, put them back in, was cheering, whistling.
Yeah.
Everybody was in there last night, Coach.
Well, Coach Jackson, she knows, and she's a high competitor. So, for her and her team to go into Douglas, withstand that crowd, withstand that, think about her schedule, what she's done. Now she knocked off Dale, and then now she plays Douglas and other games. She's setting herself up. I mean, Coach Jackson's setting herself up at Millwood. I don't know, for whatever reason, they're still ranked wherever they're ranked. I can't get that at Class 3A. But I'm going to tell you, 3A coaches, though, you better not catch number 15 Millwood in playoffs, because you might be in trouble. So you might want to rank them up a little bit higher, so that way you don't end up with a number 1 or number 8 and Millwood, because Millwood might be sending somebody home.
Yeah, and like I said, I felt like their guards and players up to their par like they did in the Dale game, watching the Dale game and watching that game. I felt like they didn't do the things they need to do. Then I got my girl coming here help me out. I'm sneaking with sign language to her, but I felt like Mill was guardian, played like they did in the Dell game. They turned the ball over. Mo is a senior. I mean, she kind of struggled last night. The sisters. I thought Maddie, the point guard, and Reagan. It's never gotten a good flow, coach. I felt like they was driving, just throwing stuff up, and sometimes that stuff goes in and it looks good, and sometimes it don't go in, it looks bad. And last night I thought it looked bad. I thought Jackson. I mean, that's probably her first time not playing in the game, but coaching the game. She had to coach it last night, and you kind of saw her. She had the blue dress on and the blue heels, and she comes from that span of Katie Bass over there. Looked good, played good, but last night I know she probably was like, man, I wish I had my sweats on, because she wanted to go out there and probably tackle somebody, because they didn't make a lot of plays. But I think, like you said, you just said it. Mill was number 15. They just took a top team, one of the top players in the state, to a 9-8 point game. And sometimes they got down by 15 to 20 and cut it to 8 or 9, but just couldn't finish that run, though. Just, missed layups or missed shots and things like that. So I think Mill is going to be a team that, can they compete with Washington? It's going to be tough if they're in the same class. I don't know if they're in the same class or not.
They are.
But if Washington is who they're going to be battling for, Washington is going to be kind of like a little bit of Douglas, not as athletic, but got some girls that can knock down shots and stuff like that. But Jackson will get them where they need to be. So, I said, going into this second half of the season, coach, it's tough. You watched last night. You look at PC North go after Vegas and win the Vegas tournament, then come home to Oklahoma and play in Muskogee Rough, the Lady Ruffers, and go in double overtime. And Muskogee, you got a team you got to see over at Mustang, didn't look as hot. So it just, you got to put on your shoes and tie them up and go play ball, because if you're thinking, oh, man, we just won Vegas, Muskogee ain't really good. They just got beat by Alpo or Bibo or JoJo or whoever they got beat by. Didn't look very good. So that's why you got to put on your shoes. I'm telling you right now, a lot of these teams, I'm telling you now, Roy and CJ over there at UConn, they sweating. They already got some losses. You open up Tuesday night, folks. We back on the court Tuesday night. Where my ball at, coach? Where that?
What are you talking about?
We back on the court, coach, Tuesday night. Everybody gets back on the court. You start losing those second half games. Guess where you at, coach? Where you at?
Well, I posted it. I posted an article
you did?
As a writer, and I talked about key games, and one of those key games is I'll post it later on. We'll post it you'll see it on our X page. We'll post our top 10 games of the week on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday night. But I can tell you one of them now is Piedmont and UConn.
Yes, sir.
And my key games, if you read that article, my key games were not against the Edmond North. It's position yourself out of that 3 spot to a 2 or 3. When I say key games, I can say, key game for us, it would be Lincoln Christian, it would be Douglas. But the key game for us is going to be a Kingfisher, Chickasha, because we're fighting for that position in our rankings. And so, Piedmont and UConn, that's a key game for both programs, because that gives them a tiebreaker advantage. It gives them a third spot. I'm looking at Midwest City. I think Midwest City plays El Reno Tuesday as another game. That's a key game. Who's going to finish, in that district? That could be a 1 through 4 spot right there. I don't know who all's in that district. Is that district y'all are in, Midwest City?
Yes, sir.
El Reno?
Yes, sir. Yeah, El Reno, yes.
So, for them guys having to play you and whoever else is in your district, that's a key game. That determines whether you're a 4 or 5 seed in district. So there's some big games out there on Tuesday. We'll look at them, and get them up and maybe get a quick hit on them, later on. But there's some key games coming up Tuesday for district play. And we're not talking about first place. We're talking about that 3rd, 4, 5 spot. That means, whether you might go home after one and done, or you might get a chance in the loser's bracket.
No, you're exactly right. Some of these games that, El Reno and Middle City, you talk about them, open up Tuesday night. Both teams come on break. Both teams didn't play over Christmas break like a lot of these other teams, so they got their legs fresh and going, still going and getting their shots. I don't know if either team scrimmage, but I know this is a big game for El Reno, because you kind of want to stay in that driver's seat. You lose this one, kind of put you behind. And Jennifer, like I tell people all the time, man, I'm never going to count Jennifer Douglas out. She is a GOAT. She's won 2 in a row. When you thought last year she lost 2 to Carl Albert. Carl Albert's going to be the clear favorite to win state, get beat by, Booker T in the second round. Jennifer takes care of Booker T in the final. So, and this is, that's how the ball bounces. It's all about matchups too, Coach. It's all about that matchup. So, and you know that right now, like I said, one of the things I was in when I wouldn't watch that game last night, one of the reasons I wouldn't watch, I wanted to see Douglas. I mean, Carl Albert don't face either one of them, but Hera does. And so Hera is a team that we cover a lot that's on this show. And the guy that helps me do this show is the head coach. So how would he fare up against Douglas? I think, if you go shoot to shoot, they don't really have a lot of size. But I think if you go shoot to shoot, and Maddie and Allison and some of those girls get loose and Paisley can control that ball. Then you got Hannah Burkhart playing good ball. You know what I'm saying? So you got the pieces. You got the pieces. Lincoln Christian, they show they're beatable. They lost 2. This is a team that everybody had winning the tournament of champions up in Tulsa. Lincoln Christian lose 2 games. Lose to who they lose to Dell or who they lose to?
Bixby.
They lost to no. Did they lose to
Union?
They lost to
Union played Dell.
Yeah, I'm talking about to get there though. Lincoln Christian got beat by Union. Union in the semifinals. Then they turned around and lost to Bixby and for the 3rd and 4th place. So Lincoln Christian is human. They're just like us, man. They put on their shirts just like we do. So
all I can tell you right now, them coaches right there, that they probably got them huddle requests like filled up. It's like messages are full. Everybody was like, I want that film. I want that film. I want that film. You beat me. And, it was like you log on the huddle. It's like everybody in 4A, like, can I have that film? Can I have that film? Again, it showed that, we talk about, when we talk about players, we talk about teams. What adjustments are you going to make? Because now you have film. And to me as a coach, I really don't know what my team really going to feel like until after Christmas.
Yes, sir.
You can have a system. I've had systems. I love run and jump. I would do it if I was at another school that had different type players, but it doesn't fit for us. So you know what? We sprinkle it in, but we don't live and die by it like my teams at Luther did. So I have to make that adjustment. What are we going to do? One year I went from straight man to zone. I never play zone almost, but it was a fit, and it was what was going to win us games. And so I think at Christmas break, Carl Albert, they found something at Tournament of Champions. Y'all finished Constellation winners. You went 2-1. You found something. Now you're making that adjustment. Coach Richard's making that adjustment into his program. Hey, this is what we found. Now we make adjustments. Talk about Douglas. She lost so many players. Probably during Christmas break, she's probably figuring out how to use these players, Romanos and some other kids that she has, and make that stuff work with some new players that she has. So everybody's a little different after Christmas break. I always felt after Christmas break, I felt like, I understand what my team looks like. I understood the identity, of what we're going to do. We're going to run this offense. You do it in scrimmages and then you do it in the games. And maybe like Carl Albert, maybe you're going to run a different offense now because you know what? You found something that worked and now you've got to build from it. And,
I love that you say that because, you look at like these small schools, you look at, you talk about, Dale, winning that tournament. Dale knocked off some big teams. They knocked off 1 5A team and 2 6A teams, and sometimes I get so irritated when people say, well, 6A where's that? 6A where's that? It's loaded every night and day. Well, Dale played 2 6A back to back. Right. So yes, it's loaded. Well, Dale didn't have any girls lost. Shelby didn't play as much. Her back been bothering her, but they played 6 or 7 girls deep. Then they played at the right time. It was well coached. He called timeouts when he needed to call timeouts. He did the right things. One thing that I think that was really great that he did is that he used his girls in the right situation. He'll let Skylar go down, get a little air, come back in, boom. She's ready to go. She's fresh. She's not turning the ball over. So shout out to that coach over there. Great job. But coach, let's talk about some of the tournaments, some of the teams that you saw over at Mustang. Opening night, we had an upset. Coach calls me. After we get beat by Dale, I'm sad. I didn't want to come out the room. I thought it was the end of the world. I was ready to go hide on the rock. And then who else got beat? Muskogee got beat by Alva. I was a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Katie Bass got beat by what's the team?
Ampo.
No, Hawthorne.
Hawthorne, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was back, folks. I was back because
you're human, huh?
I was human again. I was like, okay, it does happen. I didn't get ziped off the world, but it happens, folks. That's why you got to go play the game. So I know Coach got a chance to see some big time ball over there. So what's some of the games that stood out to you, Coach?
Well, I'm gonna start with Coach Bass and Mustang. They took the hit the first night against Hawthorne. Hawthorne ran a nice 3-2 zone. I think Hawthorne was maybe the surprise of the tournament. They're not going to wow you when they warm up, but they're solid. They've got the Davis girl signed to Southern Nazarene. They got number 20, who's a nice little post player, and then they had the Bernelli kid who shot number 13. And so they were surprised. I mean, because you look at them, and you kind of like, okay, and they just, didn't look like it. And then they played, and they constantly just a possession away, up by 5, and so, but for Coach Bash, I think for her, she recovered that first game, and they found themselves shooting. She's got kids that can shoot. So I think Mustang found their shooting. They've got nice young players. They've got Cece as a freshman. Is it Janaea?
Arjanae, Coach.
Arjanae as a freshman.
Hey, I had to help you one time.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but they're freshmen and they made their freshman mistakes a little bit, and but I think they're going to find their role. And then the Maya kid, she sat out, all of scrimmages being ill. And came back, and their big game I think coming back is Westmore.
Yes, that's gonna be
They got Westmore coming back. Who
and they got them at Westmore. I think it's it might be at Westmore because the first game, well, wherever's at, I know that Mustang took the loss the first time against them.
7-point loss. I mean, let me look real quick. I got that up. Got one. They got at Putnam City, and then I think they got the Westmore coming in after that. So. Let's see that. Now here's what I was talking about. Westmore's got 3 in a row that can make it. Mustang's got 3 in a row that can make a difference. I talked about when I wrote. They're at Choctaw. They got Edmond Memorial at home, and they got Westmore at home. So that's a 3-game stretch. Coach Bass and them can make some moves. You could go from second to first with some wins there.
Yeah.
And so I thought Mustang did a good job finding their way back to the way they play. They look good on defense. Hawthorne was a surprise. Amber Picasso was a big surprise. I mean, they look good. They look good their first night against Edmond North, and Sadie Franklin is one of their players that went off, and I think she had 14 points in the first quarter. And, Coach P is going to make a difference. He's going to make a change, and he made that change, kind of shut her down a little bit. But she did a good job. And so AMPO is going to be a good team in Class A that's going to compete for a state tournament. And I was surprised with them. They got a couple other kids, their coach's daughter. That's pretty good. And then, Newcastle won it all. You say what you want about Newcastle. I think they do a good job. They got good balance. They got good guard play. They got good size. The first night they played without Sims, and then Sims was there the second and third night. The only thing I'm going to say about Newcastle, and Coach ain't going to lie with me on that one. We're going to talk about it. And foul trouble. They've got to stay out of foul trouble.
Dumb fouls too, Coach. I mean, it's too much buzzer going on. Southern girls out there should be playing the minutes they play. They got too many girls getting in foul trouble. Then they go sit and they bring them right back in. I know Coach Jim is probably tired of hearing this. The star players Jordan Richardson. I think she fouled out twice in the tournament, and she's a better player than that. But I gotta say. JD and some of these other girls is stepped up. Number 14, the young lady that came over.
Telford.
I think Telford. I mean,
something like that.
And I kind of like when she's running point, Coach. And I'm not trying to be messy and stir up stuff, but I think that the offense real smooth. I think Jay Lee has done a great job, and I think she's gotten some starter minutes. I know the one young lady was gone on a cruise for a couple of days and decided to come back home. But sometimes it happens when you buy those things, man. You don't know, but I mean, it's tough. But I think that Newcastle is starting to find this glitch. Still don't think they're always a complete team yet. I think they got all the pieces. It's just like getting everybody to play together at the same time. Like I said, I'm watching Kalani right now. It might be the best player on their team right now. She got MVP. Congratulations to her. and then King. King is King.
Mm-hmm.
And King is I just watched a clip of her earlier. I was like, who was that? And I turned around, it was her. Girl gets to one baseline, the next line comes up and scores. Right. She just got to finish. When she decides to say, I'm going to play how many days you play basketball, and she's going to play every day like it's the last day, she's going to get every offer she wants. Until then, coaches are sitting back waiting. They got their pen in their hand. They got their notebook, coach. They're taking notes. They got all the stuff they're doing to say, hey, I'm going to go get this girl. But you got to play at 100%. You can't play 75. You can't play 50. When you play 100, you're going to sign. Somebody's going to come offer you the gold book, NIL money, whatever you need. You're going to get it. But you got to play 100%, young lady. We've told you more than once. We told you more than twice. You got to play 100 before you get that offer.
Well, Coach Jim knows. You talk about Coach. Talk Coach Jim. Coach Jim knows. They're all sophomores. Look at them.
Yeah.
So the fouls and some of the shot selections, things like that. You got to let your horses run a little bit, but then you got to, teach them. You got to teach them when to shoot, when not to shoot.
Time out. You just said something, Coach. I'm gonna buzz you on something because you said that what grade you said they was in?
Oh, they're all sophomores.
No, Coach. We're in the second half of the season. You've grown up. You got to start playing.
You're still a sophomore. Come on now. When it comes down to that playoff game, when it comes down to that deal, you may be seasoned, but like we talked about, like your girl at Millwood, Coach Jackson, you may have been in Douglas before, but that ain't the big house. So when you get in the big house, what's going to happen when you get to the big house? It ain't Douglas Gym anymore. I played in front of people. You have, but have you played when the game's online, when your season is? There is no tomorrow. This ain't AAU.
It's loud.
There's no tomorrow.
It's loud, But like I said,
and that pressure, it's win or go home. So but he'll tell you that. So I thought they looked really good. I think that their defense is going to be, I think if stay out of foul trouble, their defense is going to give people a lot of fits because they're long. I thought this JJ came in or KK came in and did a good job on defense, so he's got scrappy guards. He's got tall height. If Sims can finish around the rim and have good hands and be strong around the rim, that'll give him an inside game. And what I saw first time, I don't watch it play, but Kalani went off like 8 points in a row.
Yeah.
She had a run where she played really good ball. 8 points, put them on her back for a stretch of 2 minutes. I think they were up by 4. And by the time she got done with their run, they were up 14-15. It was 9-9. It was game was over with.
No, Coach, I think she's playing good ball right now. I think she's starting to get away from that injury bug, and I think that slows you down when you have nagging injury. I think right now she's playing at 100%. She looks good. She's getting to the bucket. She's hitting her free throws. She's hitting her jump shot, and she's playing great defense. So, and that's the thing about with that team, when you have a team like Newcastle, when you got 5 or 6 girls that can go, and so if one of the two the engines ain't pumping good, you go to the next one. I think when you got teams like Carl Albert, teams like Midwood City, even Dell City, I think they're good because, pairs go down. Guess what? They're not lost to beat. They still got Tori. They still got some of the other girls, McAllister, the young lady that can shoot the 3. I always get her name off a little bit, but, you got Sasha. Yeah, so you got all these girls that can help you. I think, if like you said, in the Carl Albert game, you started missing shots second half. And if Jakari's not hitting, and Audrey's not hitting, now you're asking a freshman to step up and hit some shot. Kenshi, yes. You're asking Harold. You're asking Hatchett. You got to get a little bit more bench play from Sutton and from the Twins. I know they're doing some things, but we gotta. Like you said, Richie he's gonna put that second half together. It's gonna get tougher because now you got to face El Reno twice. You got to face Midwood City twice. Then you got to have your own class, the Titan class tournament. Which one you took fourth? You took fourth in one tournament. You came back and you took fifth. You went 2-1. One you went 1-2. Now this is one. Yeah, it's your house that you want to try to win. So a lot of big things second half of the season, folks. You're gonna find out what teams is made, who's gonna make it. A lot of people's not talking about. I watched the OSN show the other day, and they did talk about my Bishop McGinnis. I think Bishop McGinnis and Althus are teams that you got to keep your eye on, even though they might not be one of the top of the fours. Glenpool, Coach, they're sitting there 5-0. Ain't nobody talking about Glenpool, a
Bobby
team that moved up to the top. What'd you say, Coach?
Bobby does a good job at Glenpool. I mean, I think people think they lost because the Shawnee kid left. I think they think, they're not as scoring, but, they've got 2 kids that are 6-foot post players. One's a excellent volleyball player. The other one is a really good kid. I can't remember the top of my name. They've got good guard plays that were young. They do have a good point guard in Gibson, that point guard that could control it. And I think, Glimple's a team that you better watch out for in 5A. And I think Bishop's the same way. Bishop's got three kids. I still think they're learning how to play together. Maybe over Christmas break, maybe they got that figured out. They've got one shooter that just spots up in the corner. I don't know her name, but she seems to, if you leave her alone, she's like a Steve Kerr out there just hanging out on the wing. Kick it out, Jordan. I'm ready to knock. And that's what she does. If they kick it out to her for help, hey, that kid's going to shoot it and knock it down. So they got some teams out there, on the tournament wise. I think the team that everybody's curious about is Muskogee.
Yes, Coach. I'm curious about Muskogee. I told you the other day I feel like they had enough depth. And like I said, I was kind of talking to CJ last night. I said maybe they had some girls get eligible the second part of the season. I don't know, Coach, but I'm just saying it's kind of weird because you go into Muskogee. You go into Mustang tournament, you lose 2 games. I think they ended up winning. Their last game. Yeah, beat Piedmont. And Piedmont's a team. We got to talk about for a second that they went 0-3 in the tournament. A team that I felt like it was going to make a big run this year in the 6A, and they still can. Tournament. Sometimes them girls got their mind on the Lululemon purse they got, or the new Lumen shorts or hat or whatever they got. I don't know. Maybe boyfriend break up. Maybe they didn't get the gift they wanted, so maybe they wasn't in the right mindset. I don't know, but they're too good. To come out against when they opened up against Newcastle, my little point guard was going off. Had 10 points the first half. Second half, she scored 2. You can't do that, young lady. You got to keep the foot on the pedal, and they ended up getting beat by Newcastle. You know what I'm saying? So Piedmont got to find a way, man. I know Crawford, she shoots from half court. Maybe she got to take a little bit better shot selection. I don't know, but they're just not who they are. They're not hitting the shots they need to do. They're a better team. They start off pretty hot now. They've lost 3 in a row, and they open up with a tough game come back Tuesday. You don't want to lose that next game. They be 4 in a row. That right. Time you might be throwing in the flag and saying it's over. It's over. So
I can tell you it's not, because I can hear the ball bouncing from my house. So they got back in the gym shooting. I can tell you right now.
You can hear it, Coach. Is it bouncing?
I can hear bouncing. I can hear the nets. I promise you, they were back in the gym. I know. I talked to one young lady's mom, and I think she even went up there New Year's Day. She said, "No, this ain't happening for me," And so I think that group's got some pride. I think they know what we talk about is they can win, they can beat teams, and they go up there and not perform the way they did. I would expect Piedmont to be ready to go on Tuesday when they play UConn. So the other team that was there that was impressive was Edmond North.
Yes.
And I can go watch Pease play anybody. They're gonna bring it to you. The ninth girl on the bench, she better bring it, or you know what? She ain't in the game. I just the Hawk is a beast. She got in foul trouble a little bit, I think, against Newcastle, which helped hurt a little bit. But when she's at the high post, she's facing the bucket with her jump shot or off the dribble, she's pretty tough to stop. I don't know. The Bednar kid is a point guard, I think, is really surprising. She does a good job at point guard, which allows the Jackson kid to move over a little bit to the 2 guard. And, she's a D1 commit. And I think she made all tournament. Jackson did for Edmond North. They're going to be all right in 6A. He's a little short on a depth chart, as far as bench, but trust me, his first 5 are going to go. And he's got a really, really nice freshman. I don't know if you've seen her play, the Williams kid.
Is that the girl he brought to the show with him?
No. Okay. I'm talking about Edmond North.
Oh, Edmond North. Yeah, the Williams kid. Yeah. She plays with Unity. So yeah, she's coached real well. Dad was a big time football player. I think he played in Missouri. So sister's a track star. I think they used to be at Santa Fe and they came over. So yeah, great young lady.
Yes.
She gets coached up real well, from Unity coach. And Pop knows what he got going, man. He knows he got his daughter coming. Mm-hmm. His last one that's a great ball player that can shoot long range. Got great size already for an 8th grader. So he knows what he's got coming. He's building his team for the future. Probably be his last good run before he retires and go out in the sunset, because this one's gonna probably help him get there. But the thing about it though, man, is that some of these teams they're not playing good ball right now, and they're losing ball games. You don't want to keep losing because then it just puts you in a tougher spot to try to get to the state championship. So, like Muskogee's one of those teams we talk about. PC North, I still tell people all the time, I know everybody's giving them the gold ball, but I think, Chata or, you saw last night that Muskogee came close to knocking them off in double overtime. So anything can happen, though. Anything can happen.
Well, I can tell you, Coach Martin ain't counting on that gold ball. I can tell you right now, Coach Martin's smart. She's been around. She's been in basketball her whole life, been connected with Southern Nazarene growing up, stuff like that. And I can promise you right now, Coach Martin don't have that gold ball in that trophy case. She's telling us, she's letting them know that, and the trophy's great. You found a way to win, but that's an eye-opener. But this ain't Texas, and that's great. But you better win these games at home. You better win this district. Or you're gonna end up with a Putnam, you're gonna end up on the side of an Edmond North or somebody like a Union or someone that, and so I promise you Coach Martin has him ready to go. And that last team in that tournament is Alva. Alva had a really good showing.
Yes, sir.
Class 3A. I can literally say every team, has a shot at state tournament. And I can think about 4 teams to 5 that could probably get to that Final Four in their class in that Mustang tournament. So I'd like to thank Coach Foreman and his staff. Man, it's a great tournament. Hospitality room was good. Everything about it was really good. I enjoyed going down there. Maybe one day I'll get my team to play in it, so that'd be nice.
Well, Coach, like I said, that's big time. Before we get out of here, a couple of tournaments I want to talk about real quick before we close out. That's going to happen this year. You got the Bartlesville tournament. We'll send out the other day with some good teams in it. So I think I kind of gave a little shout out that, hey, Dale City, but Bartlesville, I know they got something to say about that. But there's some great teams in that one, though. So that tournament's coming up. Is it this weekend? I'm not sure.
Yes.
So, like I said, a lot of great teams in it. I know Dale City's in it, and some other good teams are in it, too. Then I know you got one this weekend, too, right, Coach?
Yeah, we're at Lindsay tournament. I mean, if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to get probably Chickasha or Paul's Valley, and Chickasha would be, for us, that's what we're kind of looking for. Take care of business. Nothing against the teams we have, but before us, but, we got to win one game at a time. But we want the setup to play Chickasha, who's ranked one spot behind us, and so that way we get a chance to take care of some business against a ranked team to kind of keep ourselves up in the top class.
Yes, sir. I mean, and that's what it's all about. You want to be right there when it comes down, especially with the 4A. I mean, their selection is totally different than the 5A and the 6A. You guys go off wins and losses. So the last thing you want to do is take a bad loss and then you get dropped, because right now you're sitting at 7-0. Were you top 10? Are you top 10 in your class?
Right now we're number 6.
Number 6. I mean, so who's in front of you? Do you know?
It'd be Broken Bow, Kingfisher, Locust Grove, Douglas, and Lincoln Christian.
So, yeah. So there's 2 teams that was in the tournament last weekend. I mean, but it doesn't hurt their status even though they got beat. I know Locust Grove's a team that we played.
And that's the thing about 4A. That's what me and Coach Bass talking. I talked to Coach Bass on the phone the other day. That's what we're talking about. People have to understand your homework. You got to understand, if Locust Grove loses, they lost to you guys. Well, you guys finished 2-1 on a neutral site. I mean, do your homework when that's the thing about 4A down is do your homework. Now, I know 6A, if I was a 5, 6A coach, I'd go out and play anybody in the world. Lace them up. Let's go. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win. Now, you talk about Christmas tournament. I'll tell you real quick about coaches. Sometimes they don't like that Christmas tournament because you don't get a practice. You're not in your team. And how do you pull yourself out like Piedmont? How do you pull yourself out of an 0-3, on 4 days or whatever practices? And now you're in a must-win situation. I think right now they are in 4th place. A loss ties them in 5th. Then you got Westmore, somebody else. Before you know it, if that slide continues, you're going to be at number 6.
No, you're exactly right. Like I said, I mean, they got to find a way to get themselves out. But like you said, Coach, they're in the gym right now, bouncing the ball. A lot of teams are having practice. I know our boys did. Shout out to Gibson.
Man, that boy was on fire there tonight.
Gibson Johnson, young man, had 34 points, hit 10 threes in the game. He got baptized in high school basketball, just a freshman. One thing I'm going to tell him and family and anybody else, Coach, you've been doing this long enough. I got a question for you real quick, Coach, before we close out. Parents, you got to get, you're going to get the good with the good and the bad with the bad. These beat writers are going to say good things about you, going to say bad things about you. Don't take it too personal, because at the end of the day, let your son let his game speak for itself. Gibson's a freshman. He's going to get better as the years goes on. He put his. You got to think like mom and dad. He put his name out there on the map when he went out and hit 10 threes. Everybody's gonna cover you. I mean, you got guys. Everybody's.
I'm gonna tell you right now, real quick. Coach Jackson, I saw his commercial a long time ago. I got it somewhere. I'm gonna send it to you. I bet Coach Jackson had him covered when he woke up in the morning. Coach, I bet the boy from Carlisle woke up and there was probably a Mustang kid sitting at the door waiting for him to follow him to the car. He was covered.
Coach, the Mustang kid had breakfast with him. Coach Jackson had a game plan. Every coach got a game plan. Hey, I talked to CJ. Hey, this is the thing about it. The young man got his, he's been started. The football players came back. Coach Price put him back in with the guys. Hey, Price said, hey, we're gonna roll with the freshmen, and there's nothing wrong with that. The freshman can go, let him play. And he did his thing. But I tell you, the next night when he went into the Mustang Bronco, he might have had 8 points. But that's okay, freshman. It's gonna be like that. They're gonna everybody know who you are now. So you ain't gonna fly on the radar. You ain't Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Everybody see the nose flashing. So Gibson, whenever you step on the court, people's looking at you. You're kind of like E.M. Hutton. When Gibson walks in, everybody's looking. So congratulations to that young man. Carlisle boys, I think they finished third. But hey, big time. Shout out to Audrey Plunkett. She made second team. I know I didn't get to talk about her, but she made second team for Carl Albert. Carl Albert showed some big things. Could have went down there, and like you said, we went to Arkansas, went 1-2. It's always a good feeling going 2-1. Easy could have been in the championship if ends and buts. If we rebound, we box out. Guess what? We might got a chance to get to the ship. Yeah. I would have loved to play Lincoln Christian, love to play Bixby, but hey, live for another day. But like I said, some big time tournaments coming up though, man. This month of January is gonna be tough. It's gonna find out what people's at. Some people's gonna fold their chairs and get ready for next year. Some's gonna keep their chairs out and keep fighting to try to get to that state championship, because that's what it's all about. It's getting like Coach, you said it earlier, Coach. Millwood's coach, he's played, but now you got to get there. So, and I think she will, Latoya. I think she will. Great job overall, though. Great atmosphere last night. Whoever hosted that, Shane Sanders, good job. I felt like it was a safe environment. Not saying, the East Side's rough, because, East Side just like us. But I'm just saying it was a great environment, though. There was no yelling and screaming, no disrespecting. No.
Good night basketball. Good night of good basketball.
That's it. So, but Coach, anything else before we get out of here? Oh, Coach, I want to ask you this, though. What's that? This is real talk. This is a little bit off the subject. Do you ever coach with your feelings?
Like
as a coach, you guys got a tough job. You hear the stuff in the stands, you hear parents, you hear the outsiders, you hear the insiders, you hear between the halls and so do you ever I know sometimes us parents and me is including my wife, I've learned a lot, dealing with my older kids, but parents sometimes they can nag on you and get on you and about playing time, about any time, so do you ever coach in your feelings like, well, hell with it, this kid's parents gonna nag at me?
No, I don't take it on players. Now it does make the job a little tougher. By the time I add up my pay per hour, it's about like maybe 10 cents an hour. So, and the other thing is, is I was talking to one of my parents do you go to practice? Do you watch your kid participate? Do they jog in practice? Do they know anything in practice? But as far as feelings, no, here's my advice to young coaches. You do what you do. If it's not the fit, then you're not at the right place. That's how I've always been. I'm going to be hard. I'm going to shoot straight. I'm going to be hard. I'm going to be demanding. But I'm like my man from Indiana, though. What'd he say? I win. My man from Indiana says, I win. So, so I do win games. I do make kids better. I do get them in another place. And that's what I sleep good at night with, yes, and it's funny because those are the kids that are now my assistants. Those are kids that now come back and then they realize in life what you had done, just like your previous coaches had done for you. So no, I don't. It does get tiring at times, yes, as a coach. It does make you doubt whether you still want to do it. And so I think that's why we're losing some good coaches, because the pay's not enough. We don't do it for pay. But that's part of the job. I feel, I don't know, a greeter at Walmart, she ain't getting paid. They ain't get paid a lot and they get yelled at because they want to see your receipt. They're not getting paid enough for that. So, but I don't, and but you do have to have an open door policy. You do have to let parents come in. You cannot shut them out. Let them speak. Listen to them. Try to understand where they're coming from, and then you just shoot straight with them. This is what you see. I can't do anything about it. But my advice to young coaches is do your thing. Coach the way you coach, and if it doesn't work, then you might not be at the right spot.
No, Coach, I like that. I like that 100% because I think if a young lady or young man came to you and struggling and he wasn't getting the game time, and everybody wants game time. That's the thing about it, Coach. I mean, everybody wants the kid to be a starter. Everybody wants the kids to play 32 minutes, and everybody, and it's tough as parents. Sometimes we want to measure our kid to somebody else, but you got to measure your kid to your kid. What's your kid doing right? You talked about, are they hustling? Are they doing the things they're supposed to do? You mentioned about going to practice. Are you okay with? Do you have an open practice policy?
The door's open. It's propped open. Come on in. Now it might be hot. You might want to bring some water, but come on in.
I like that.
Nothing to hide.
You know what, Coach? I like that a lot because when I know parents are not parents, or parents might even say, "Why does Tony?" I like to go to practice. I like to see what my daughter's doing, and so if she's struggling with something, I can call Coach Pig. I can call Trainer Pig. I can call Trainer Jade and says, "Hey, man, she's struggling with her finger. I can't fix it. Hey, can you look for it when you go to?" So if I don't see those things, and then hustle. Your kid is always gonna. One thing about me, I didn't miss one of my son's practice. Gabe and Deshaun when he was at Choctaw. I got there probably about 2:30, and I watched practice. It was over. I didn't get out of my car. I stayed in my car. Usually, if the girls are practicing in the main auditorium, I sit outside the glass. Richie has never said anything to me, but I'm not here to interrupt his practice. Now, when his practice is over, I go in and ask Zoe, "Do I need a rebound for you or anything like that?" So I understand that. I think every parent should go to practice and watch what your kid's doing because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're at practice, your kid's gonna give you 110%. If you're not at practice, your kid might only give you 60%. And there's only so many coaches, so they can't watch everything they're doing. So I do understand that, Coach. And like I said, I love that answer. Open door policy should always be, you should never be scared to talk to a parent or a parent should never be scared to talk to a coach. You guys got to figure it out and move on because I'm telling you, when you got cancer spreads and you don't want it to spread, especially in your second half of the season. So you want everything going smooth.
Well, the last thing you talk about that, is I'm going to end it with this. Anything in life that you have, say, you run your crew and confidence comes before the game. At 6:30, I already kind of know what I'm going to do. I already know my 8-man rotation. Now, someone may surprise me, and that's why I watch JV games in case somebody surprised me at JV. But that comes through playing time. I know I write my game plan up. If you're a coach, you write your game plan up the night before. Well, that's going off the 2 practices before that night. So what I'm going to do is what I saw in practice 2 days. Now, if you didn't do anything in practice and you didn't know anything, you jogged and you didn't hustle, you may not be hard in that practice plan and that game plan. And so, to me, practice is earned through. I tell my kids all the time, confidence is earned right now. I got to have confidence at 6:30, what you can do, and they go, and they go, well, I need confidence, coach. And I'm like, you know what? I got to be able to have confidence to put you in.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't know inbounds plays, I can't put you in. Not when the game's on the line, and a parent comes and you can watch your kid wander around and ask your kid for the play. Have them write down the play for you. If have a kid take a piece of paper and write down the plays for you and see how far they get.
If he don't know it or he or she don't know it, don't need to be in the game because that's going to cost you an extra turnover. An extra turnover gives an extra possession to the other team. And that might be the difference. They beat us by 2 or 1. So, but Coach, I appreciate it. You know what time it is. But Coach, we'll get together this week and tell people. We might grab together tomorrow night real quick, 10-minute show and tell about people what's going on in the big top games. I know Coach going to be busy this week, so we ain't going to get a chance to shoot on Thursday. So I know Wednesday night he's going to be preparing for his tournament. I know he's trying to win one. He's already won his first one this year over at the Harris 53rd Classic tournament. The Classic tournament. And I ain't trying to go get his one. Where you at this week? What's this
Charles Keithley, the legendary Charles Keithley tournament.
Okay. Big time. And then, like I said, he'll finish out in the Kingfisher. But, folks, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for supporting us going into this new year. But we still need everybody to grab their fingers together and click on like and subscribe because right now we're still sitting good, but we're not what we need to be. We're going into a new year. We want to be sitting at that like you said, at that 300 mark. 300. And we got a small goal. We're about 60 away. So we need everybody to get together, man. We're bringing good stuff from all over the state of Oklahoma. So get together and like and subscribe on Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. And one more thing, help us find a new name because we're going to get away from Oklahoma and get into Texas, Arkansas, and Kansas. So thank you. We'll catch you next time on Between the Lines. See ya.
We'd like to thank the following sponsors: Above the Line Hoops, Prep Girl Hoops, Keep It 100, and for the latest in high school girls basketball action, check out the podcast on YouTube at Oklahoma High School Girls Basketball Between the Lines.